Hi guys, well, I've got an awesome new tool for you guys today. It's the mirror animation tool. Basically it does what its namesake says, and it allows you to mirror animation, but it also allows you to just copy animation as well. So, how does this guy work? Okay, let's create a quick object and get you underway in regards to using it. Okay, so first of all, let's need to set up a bit of animation. So say frame 20, say frame 30 will be on the origin, and at frame 1 we'll just start off quite linear and uniform at the moment. So we're just going to start off at a 5.5 and I'll click play. It's some pretty amazing animation, and I'll just make this frame range just a bit smaller, so I'm not waiting for it to loop so long. Okay, so how do you use the mirror animation tool? Good question, good question. Okay, so first thing to do is click select source. So once I click that, basically it loads that in as my source. So then it's just a matter of selecting which attributes that I wish to animate with, or to reverse. So in this case, the way to select it is to, in your channel box, select your attributes. So I'm selecting my X, Y, and Z translate axes, and I'm just going to click on the add attributes, and you'll see that those attributes will get added to the mirror animation user interface. Okay, so now if I click mirror, what's going to happen is that this object here, because it's getting mirrored in all the axes, it's actually going to be down the bottom when it starts, and it's going to head towards the origin. So if I click play now, you can see that's what's happening. So if I wanted to just mirror it across to, say, the x-axis, so I click mirror again just to put it back to where it was. So if I wanted just to mirror it just across the x-axis, all I have to do is click on this reverse button, and I can just click on to the x-axis. If I click mirror, you can see it's mirrored straight across, and I click mirror again, and it'll flick it across again. And maybe I want it to come up from the bottom, so I can click mirror that. So you can see quite quickly we can mirror in pretty much any axis, and you just get a perfect match of that animation. So I'm going to put that back up to where it was. So you're probably wondering how's the handle like complex curves maybe? So like at the moment we've just got some flat tangents. So if I select, say, this X translates axes, and I just play around with that curve just a little bit. So it's going just a bit over. So, and then if I click play on that, let's bring this down and let's click play. So you can see I'm getting some pretty flashy animation there. Okay, so now I just want to mirror that across X, and if I click play again, you can see the animation is matching perfectly. Now you can actually just watch the curve as it gets mirrored across. You'll see that I click mirror, the curve is matching perfectly. Okay, so well, what else? How about we add a bit of rotation to this? Okay, so I'm going to click on my rotational axes and on this guy. So maybe around about here, or maybe frame 35 for instance. Maybe we're rotating around that way just a couple of times, like so. And I'll just set a keyframe there. And let's just play that back. And yeah, we're getting some beautiful animation, and the reason for that is because of our keyframes on frame 30. So if I just go to my rotation, and I'll just cut those off. Okay, and now if we click play now, we should get some smooth rotation, which we are getting. Okay, and to add these attributes, since I'm only animating the rotate Z, I'm just going to add that one into it. So you can see that the RZ has been added. So now if I wanted to mirror all this across, I'm just going to click reverse, and I'm just going to go X and Z. And so if you just look at this at the moment, and I'm going to click mirror. So now we're going to be coming from the other side, and we're matching the animation perfectly. Yeah, and once again, if we wanted to come from the bottom, and the mirror. You can see everything's matching up, and I might just flip that rotation around. So really fast, real quickly, was mirroring our animation across. Real good time saver, especially obviously for animators. And I might just flip that across the X again. And let's just get the mirror. Okay, so that's all looking pretty cool. So what if we wanted to copy that animation across to another object? So I'm just going to create a torus. And I might just adjust its look just slightly, so it's maybe slightly bigger. Right there. The radius a little bit smaller. Add a few more axes, maybe get to 40, 60. Okay, so it's a little bit smoother. Okay, so if I want to copy this animation onto this guy, all I have to do, so this is already the source, so I can click the source again. I can stick my axes that I want to mirror across or to use as an animation guide. So I'll click on the select source, and you can see all these axes have been added into it, all these attributes, sorry. And to add this, so I get the same animation as that, all I have to do is click on target and go select target. So basically that's something copied from the source to the target. And now if I click on mirror, you'll see it coming from the bottom again, and it's copying the animation, which is quite cool. And I can get mirror again, of course. Actually, maybe reverse. So if I turn all these attributes off, it means it'll copy the direct animation from this guy. So now click mirror, click the start, and if I play, you can see everything's matching up beautifully. Okay, so obviously one of the cool features about using this mirror tool is that we can quickly mirror animation. And so in this case, I just want to mirror my Z rotation. So I'm going to go to Z over here, and I'll click mirror on that. And so what that means is that while the sphere spins this way around, the torus will have a counter rotation. So real quick, real fast, real easy to set up, and you can do it to multiple objects, copy things across real fast. And obviously one of the other sort of cool things about the whole way that this works is that it works pretty fantastic on rigs as well. So I'll just quickly open up a rig and show you how that works. Okay, so this one's the Bishop rig, which is quite an awesome rig. Okay, I'm just going to turn off the joints for the moment. Okay, so I'll show you how this all works. So I'll just add a few keyframes in here. So I select these objects here as my source. So I'm selecting each individual object. So it's a FK arm. So I'm going to click on select source. And now what I want to do is just add a few keys in there. So I'm going to key that, go frame 10, click on this shoulder joint, let's bring it down a bit. So turn it on. So like that, looks kind of cool. Okay, and then it's going to go to the elbow, frame 15, and then go in. Like so yeah, that looks pretty cool. And I'll set a keyframe there. So let's see what we've got at the moment. It's a work of art, absolute work of art. Okay, and now let's just work on the wrist joint. Okay, so maybe from frame 15, we just bring that up. Like so. Turn around, let's go to the front view. Let's make this guy a bit of a martial artist, I reckon. Okay, bring that over. Okay, pretty happy with that. So I'll key that. And I might just bring the shoulder back just a touch. So Okay, that's looking pretty good. And maybe let's bring this forward just a touch. I'm really trying to get this center line so it looks quite nice for us. This little animation example. Okay, that's pretty cool. And let's just let's get this wrist, bring it down just a touch. So out of that. And yeah, pretty happy with that. Okay, and last but not least, let's do a few random attributes just so you can see how it all works. Yeah, so I'll select that guy, and this guy, and I'll just give them a bit of rotation, like so. Let's pull it right back a bit. Okay, so that's cool, and let's just go to frame 20. And keep that as well while it's zeroed out. Okay, so let's have a look at what we're getting. Okay, this guy definitely knows the way of the force. Okay, let's just rotate that wrist a bit earlier. Oops. Let's grab the keyframe, move it down a bit. So we're getting. Okay, so it's really just that guy there. That's probably coming a bit early. Maybe just keep that as one whole unit. Okay, so that's pretty cool. Okay, so we've got our source that's already been selected. Now it's just a matter of grabbing those attributes. Okay, so we're going to do the rotation. Grab that, add those attributes, and pretty much just really the finger attributes. So we're going to grab those ones, and these ones, and I'm just going to click add attribute. Okay, so you can see those have all been added. Okay, so now what I want to do is I just want to mirror this across onto the other side. So to do that, I basically just need to select this in the same order. So I'll select that, and this guy, and I'll go select target. Okay, so those have all been added. Now one of the things to take into account is that when I rotate this, what I'm looking for is just to, I'll just zero that out quickly. What I'm looking for is just to see which way the rotation is going. And you can see when I rotate this down, we're getting a negative value. So I just want to check on the other side and see what we're getting on that. So when I rotate this down, we're also getting negative values. So that means that it's using the same sort of rotational values as the other side. So it means that we don't actually need to mirror it, we just need to copy the actual animation straight across. So that we don't actually have to reverse it. So if I click on this reverse and just turn these all off, and if I click on the mirror button, what you'll see is we're getting something that's perfectly mirrored. So now if I click play, we have our little character, and there's the way of the force, and he's looking pretty cool. Okay, so one of the cool things about using this whole technique, and in the future I'm looking to add just a way of saving out selections, just for animators really. But for the moment, the good thing about once these have been loaded into the script, while this remains open, it obviously keeps a hold of those values. So what that means is that if I were to change my animation at any stage, so for example, maybe he's going to bring his hand down a bit. Like so. Okay, then I got one rotational axis. So maybe we're just going to tell someone to stop. Or hold back a bit. Don't hurt me. Okay. That's cool. So I'm just going to key that. And because all the values have already been loaded into here, now when I click on mirror, we're getting perfect animation. Or perfect mirror. So it means we can continuously update this and we're getting our animation mirrored over. And obviously because of the way the rig works and stuff, it's all local space, so it means that if I click on mirror, it's, so I can move this out here, for example. key that, and if I click on mirror, it doesn't take the world axes into account, it's just taking the actual local values. Okay, so that's pretty much the mirror animation tool. As I said, I'm looking to add a few features into this just to add just a bit more customizability to animators. But yeah, it's a really awesome tool. I totally recommend animators getting it, and just anyone who animates in general. So yeah, enjoy guys. Bye.